They didn't make this beat. Back again with the heat. He gonna cover everything from the west to the east, from the north to the south, suburbs to the streets. Subscribe and hit the like so you won't miss a beat every day of the week. Gotta know he dropping. Restaurant reviews to the current topics. Yeah, sports outlook, and he coming proper. Tune in for the real win gossip. You tuned in to the What Up Though Show with Danny D. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. What up, though? What up, though?
What's up? What's good, y'all? Welcome to the What Up Though Show. It's your boy Dame D.
And your boy E Skeezy.
Today we're gonna be joined with your boy BJ3, and we have your boy. How do you want us to? What do you want us to call you, bro?
Just call me Leaf, man.
Okay, we got Lee on the phone with us. We welcome you guys to the show. And go ahead, hit him with the topic. I'm gonna go ahead and let you run that back.
We still talk. We're gonna do the part 2.
Yeah, we're doing part 2. Go ahead.
It was so much to say. Y'all hit on a lot last night, but we got 3 more opinions and.
Well, let me officially announce the title. We're gonna do part 2 of what we did last night. Does failed fathers turn their sons into great fathers? So go ahead, E. Yeah, so last night we had a deep conversation. We were talking about does failed fathers make their sons great fathers? BJ3 was not able to join us last night, but tonight he's on with us. So I'll let you elaborate on a few things that you wanted to talk with us about last night, BJ.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I was on my bike last night and missed the show tonight. I had a flat, so I drove. So you know what I'm saying, I got a ride actually. So one of the points that I wanted to make from listening to last night's show was basically you can have, for one, we got to define what a failed father is. And then once we do that part, I wanted to say that you can have a failed father in the house. A lot of the conversation last night was discussing about a missing father, a father that's not in the house, and that's how he failed. But
okay,
there's a lot of ways that a father can fail.
Well, elaborate on that, BJ.
Well, we were talking about, depending on the culture, but we're going to just stick with American culture. If the father doesn't treat the wife like a queen, you know what I mean? Like, he disrespects her, he dogs her, he puts her down in front of the kids, belittles her, calls her names, crack jokes, that kind of thing. Like, if that's the kind of guy that they see, that can be a fail in that area, in that area, you know what I'm saying? That could be considered a fail because now you got this little boy who thinks, smacking his wife around is the norm, and that's what he's supposed to do if she have a different opinion than his, and it could mess him up. So that's just one aspect, but it could be anything. It could be not going to work. We were talking about how men are the leaders and the providers and the security and all these different things. But you just say you got a father because we all on that video game age where we play video games was part of college. You there for hours waiting for your turn for the next game, and you got a dad that's at the house all day and all he do is smoke cigarettes and play video games, and mama's trying to do this and trying to do that, and he in the house and he talk a lot of smack, and that's his lifestyle, and he hustle here and there and have a little money here and there, but that's what you see. Then again, that's in that area, in that aspect of that particular family's life, that's a failed father.
Yeah, well, it almost sounds like this nigga is one of the homies or something.
There we go. Now
Hey,
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm the type of dude, man. I can't even mess with you, man. If you that kind of dude that ain't handling business.
I feel you. I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even be comfortable being around you if I come over your crib and I described anything that I just described. Like, I can't be comfortable with that.
Oh,
Right,
oh,
right.
okay, well,
We
we gonna ask
ain't
you
got
that
nothing.
same
What we gonna
question,
talk
Lee. We
about?
want you to elaborate on what you think. Do you think that a failed father, results in his children being, decent or great fathers? So go on ahead and elaborate on that, Lee. And then E, you can go on ahead and, like I said, take over and run it a little bit, and I'll just sit back, relax.
All right.
So, I mean, I think it's such a multi-variant question. Because we talking about father and we speak about it from a vague standpoint, but then we speak about a black man, and it gets super complicated. For one, I don't think black men have ever been in a position to control their ethnic image in America, as hard as we tried, because it's always been an outsider to narrate or to put out a narrative of who we are, and they've always been able to overwhelmingly make people believe it. And I think those stereotypes have been pushed into society so much, these stigmas compromise our households, right? So I think most black men, majority of black men, I believe, want to be in a household for one, because when we talk about failed fatherhood, a lot of it is because a lot of black men are not in the household, right? You got to think most of our black children are being raised, 67% of black children are being raised in a household with a mother being a custodial parent. So I'm going to focus on the reality of what it is. The fact of the matter is the black father is put in a position to fail because he has no influence. Okay, if you get to see your children every other weekend and it's 52 weeks in a year, that means you get to see your kids 52 times out the year and it's 365 days. That comes to about what, 10% maybe? You understand what I'm saying? What kind of influence can you have on the child? You can't have any influence, and influence is a high level of currency. So you have no influence. By the time you see the kid, all you're going to really do is something recreational. You ain't put him in a position to teach him a trade. You ain't put him in a position to teach him how to engage or how to be and we see this and we keep thinking raising black boys, but a lot of young women and a lot of black women struggle with having relationships with men because they've never had a relationship with a man. They've never looked at what a man is supposed to do. How is he supposed to look? How is he to communicate? What is the appropriate relationship? So I don't look at black fathers as they're failing. They're choosing. I don't go with the narrative that black men don't want to be fathers. I know that a very small percentage of black men got all the children, and that very small percentage are usually the worst fathers. Those are the guys with multiple baby mamas, don't take care of the kids. But very black men are with their children, and majority of black men don't have children, right? So I think black men, when present, are amazing fathers. The thing is why are the black men not as present as they should be? And it's not by choice. It's not by choice. It's by systemic stuff. It's by you only gonna fight so much as a man. First off, regardless of how much you love your kids, you only gonna fight so much, and you only gonna have so much money to fight. People don't know what it takes to fight a custody battle, right? They don't know how fed up and how frustrating it could be to think something should be logical and this bitterness and resentment filled in the conversation, And then at some point, they just put their hands up, and then they look like they gave up. But you got to ask yourself, why should you have to fight for your children that are your children? Why does somebody have more agency of your children than you when it took the two entities to make this child? So I don't really ride with the narrative of fathers not being good fathers. I question why they're not as present.
Right.
I don't think
See,
it's by choice.
and it goes back to pretty much the conversation that we were having yesterday. It's pretty much it's been a plan, and I agree with what you say, Lee. Most fathers do want to be in the household. But for some reason, somehow, most of the fathers are pushed out. In most relationships, the fathers are not even in the house in the begin with. When you looking at the generation that we're dealing with. But go on ahead and elaborate a little bit on what we were talking about, Easy.
See, I want to be the yin to the yang, because at the same time, you can be not in the household and still be a present father. They got what you call nowadays co-parenting. And like it's rough fighting a custody battle, but
it ain't that hard no more.
Your child sees everything regardless, because they see when you show up, they see when you attend games, they see when you at the graduation, they see when you there for birthdays, moments that matter, and when you can be, you still can reach out and call them, keep in touch with them, know what's going on in their life, have conversation, do everything you can to still be a parent, because sometimes it's out of your control to be in that house, but that don't stop you from being a father. And a lot of times people do tend to take out what they feel towards the mom on the child. The child get the shitty end of the stick of that, or what you feel towards the father. You want to keep the child away from the father, and not a child stuck in the middle of it. But your child will know, because when they become of age, they'll be, able to go to you for themselves and know what's going on, and I'm speaking from experience, it was to the point where my kids thought I didn't want to be in the house, but it was really mom's choice to push me out the house, where there was decisions I made, but I let it be known for my family, it wasn't worth it. So I was willing to do anything, but she made it up in her mind that she didn't want to go forward. So I was departed from the house, but I still.
I got a question for you though. So even with that situation, these are all options. These are not best case scenarios, right?
Right.
How can we compete, be competitive, think dominant ownership and capital and capitalizing on anything if we're constantly working from deficits? Your children, just based on what you said, regardless of effort, they already put at a deficit, because now they got to go back and repair something that should never have had to be repaired because of. So they playing catch up. So when we looking at it from a structural standpoint, we are failing as a unit. We are literally failing. I'm telling you, and there's no disrespect to nobody. And when I say black parents are not good parents, black parents are terrible parents. They're fucking terrible, right? And the children are reflective of the parenting. And when I say that they're terrible, that don't mean they don't love their kids. That don't mean anything. But black parents have been conditioned so much in America, they believe mediocrity is excellence. Mm-hmm. And everything they do, they believe that mediocrity is excellence. You don't see us learning the things that we need to learn in order to propel the next generation of people. Every single thing we do is backwards, right? Everything we do is backwards, bro. The kid care more. The kid is like, I got to take care of my parents. When in essence, the kid should grow up and be taking care of his family. The man should be growing up taking care of his family, his children, but he's trying to take care of his parents. We do everything backwards, right? We celebrate people getting out of jail. We're paying for funerals when we should be collecting life insurance policies. And all those things come from those deficits. So now your kids got to figure out, damn, the last 8 years of my life, I've been kind of dealing with this internal trauma. Now I got to go ask this to my dad and heal this for my mom. And the next generation, the other kids, the other races, they just running past us.
See, and you know where a lot of this stuff that you hitting on, and a lot of the stuff you hitting on, Lee, is facts. A lot of this stuff is coming from absent fathers, or fathers who are not educated, to a lot of to most of the things that you're talking about. Most of the fathers that we're talking about is pretty much just 9 to 5 niggas out there. Well, you know what? I'm not going to even say that. I take that back. Pretty much what's going on is the fathers has been removed from the household. So therefore, there's no one to oversee those young men or young women growing up. So now you got a generation of children who just pretty much is just out there, because most of the women that's raising these children, they're emotional. They don't think with logic. And by the time the young men are 13 and 14 years old, they pretty much running the household. So when you get to talking about economics and passing down insurance, most of this shit, our parents don't even speak that. So we got to get
They
back
didn't know.
to trying to educate our peoples, on passing down, and that's a lot of stuff that we've been talking, that we talk about a lot. We got to get back to shit like that, Lee. I'm glad that you brought that to the forefront, because a lot of people don't discuss that, on their platforms, or a lot of people don't hear about that. So I want you to elaborate. I'm gonna pass the mic to BJ first, but I definitely want you to elaborate a little bit more on that, Lee.
I bet. What part you want me to elaborate on?
Just pretty much what Lee was saying, what like how he was breaking it down, like far as just, like how for basically for generations, like we're not passing down no knowledge of, instead of collecting paying for funerals, we should be collecting insurance. Instead of paying rent, we should be collecting land or having land.
Right. And we talked about this before. We're behind in the race. It's like everybody else, they said go, and they said for us to just stay back here. Hold on, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? For like 10 minutes. And they said, okay, go ahead and go. Like we already starting on a negative spot. Like to get where they are, we'll never be able to do it. But we, as a people, if we came together and start making the village like it used to be, we can get back to that. But we're so far away, and that goes back. It goes back to slavery. And then we go back to them laws. All that stuff was set up, and it's still working on keeping the men out of the house.
Okay, so go ahead, E. I'll let you elaborate on what we were saying, because I got another question that I want to ask Lee.
I'm still that yin and yang, and I understand Lee's point of view. He right 100%, but I wanna take the gloves off and stick to the topic being, do failed fathers make better fathers out of their kids? Seeing your father fail, and we talking about the fathers being absent at the same time. But when you ask me what is a failed father or an absent father, to me, I automatically think a nigga that had a choice to spend time with his kids, but he out hanging with the fellas. A dude that could be home teaching his son the ABCs of playing catch with him, but he out hustling. A dude that could be spending time with his family, making sure he providing and protecting and keeping his daughter on a straight path. His son ain't in no gang, but he choose to be messing with chicks. That's his fetish or whatever. While you out, it's just like animals. Lions don't stray too far away from they cubs and, they babies, they main squeeze. They don't go too far, because while they gone, guess who's sneaking up? Everybody that want to. Know you gone. You know how you move in and out of house in Detroit at nighttime.
Late.
You see what I'm saying? But we so flamboyant, and we attracted to every little thing but our own kids and family. Now that's an absent father. Now a failed father is somebody who had a chance to mold somebody great, somebody you can pour into the knowledge you full of, And I could say, just like I heard you talk about Uncle Bunky and Keith. My father was the same way. My mom and pops divorced, but my father, he gave me something better than money. He gave me wisdom. He gave me the know-how. He taught me. He told me, he didn't sugarcoat it, and sometimes the battle first starts in the brain. And we all know knowing is half the battle. So when you know something, it's a lot you could do better. When you know better, you do better. So I wasn't actually raised like a hoodlum. So that's what made me the ultimate thug. I knew the right way and the wrong way. You see what I'm saying? So here's our choices. Like I said, we had the choice to either chill with the fellas, go party, or spend time with the kids. What do the average thug do? Keep it 100. What he gonna do? Chill with the son and the old lady and the kids, or go run the
I mean,
streets?
that's not what the thug gonna do. The thug is gonna run the street, right?
All
The
right,
thug is not
exactly.
gonna make those decisions. The nigga is gonna do those things, right? But the
Right,
man is not gonna do those things.
right.
I would argue that more black men are better fathers than not, right? Secondly, we're saying can a failed father teach his son to be a better father? No, he can't, because the way that you teach somebody most is going to come through osmosis and to watch them influence you through behavior. So therefore, whatever that influence is, that's going to be the primary way that that boy is going to conduct himself, right? So all he's going to do is be a reflection or a replication of what he saw most, right?
So you
Boy,
saying
see his,
can't,
So yeah, that's what I was getting
what
ready to ask you, Lee. I
make
want to rephrase it, Lee. We kind of it's kind of phrased like, does a failed father does
not make,
his
but
right
more so turn them into one.
right basically, so basically, and
I agree with him on he can't make them because he ain't put nothing into him.
well, look at this. First off, if he's a failed father, that means the kid already failed. We're only looking through failure through how this child turns out. That's the only way we can say if a child failed.
I know,
Okay,
right,
so
but this
but
child. See, but the question is, does that child turn out to be a great father? So most of those kids that we're talking about,
But
they don't want to put their kids through the same shit and bullshit that their dads put them through. So I would have to disagree with both of y'all. I think most of those those fathers who have so-called failed or wasn't there, those kids turn out to pretty much be good parents.
I would
I'm
say
one
they
of those
don't.
parents.
I
I'll
would
say
say they don't
BJ's one
turn
of
out
those
to be
parents.
good parents. They don't turn
you
out to
know
be
what?
good parents, and they don't turn out to be good citizens. And you guys are anomalies.
But which
And
I
that's
wouldn't
just
even
a
say
fact.
your father was a failed father, BJ. So you have to give me
Listen,
your opinion
listen,
on that. But
listen.
go
Well,
ahead.
think
Listen,
about this.
I'm gonna say this what I say. I agree with you, D. I say that, and that's why when I was saying about a father and failures, I was only saying in that area, because this scenario that I'm giving is, I'm not saying my father's a failure by no means, because the guy that you
Right.
talk about, your uncle that you look up to, is my father. So I'm not saying that he's a failure by no means. What I'm saying is, as a child, growing up, going over my father's house every other weekend, watching him with his girls, and then how he treated my mom, and then when he got married, how he treated my mom, and how he allowed certain things to happen with his new wife and his children's mother. Now I'm gonna tell you how crazy this is. And this is as a kid. This is as a kid, as I'm watching the new wife interact with the children's mother that's been there for however long. I'm thinking, you know what? When I get older and I get a wife and a baby mama on everything, this is what I'm thinking as a kid. When I get a wife and a baby mama, this is how I'm gonna do them. And that's how I did it. And
Right.
it's never been a issue between my wife and my children's mother because of what I watched and what I saw happen with my parents growing up.
Right.
So again, I'm not saying my dad was still is a great guy. So I'm not saying this is a failed situation, but I'm saying in this aspect, I thought, I'm gonna do this different.
Right. You were able to
Well,
learn
look at this right here. So we
you
gonna
were
run to it.
right. You were able to learn from his mistakes and not repeat those mistakes. And
Correct.
and
He
you were
wasn't
able
in the
to take
house.
those
He was around the
and go on
corner,
with
but he
your
wasn't in the
kids,
house.
yeah, and become a
Right.
great dad. All
Right.
right, go ahead, Lee. My bad.
So here's what I'm saying. I don't expect perfection to say something is failure or not. First off, I don't expect perfection from nobody. Okay, and I'm not going to put anybody under that type of insurmountable pressure. All right. So with what he's saying, is the father a failure or is the father not a failure? What I'm saying is the black family has failed, so therefore the black mother and the black father have failed when we look at the results. Okay, look at the functionality of where black boys are in society, reading at third grade levels and fourth grade levels. Okay, they don't know how to lead. They don't know how to think dominate. They don't think entrepreneurship. They don't think business because they have been guided by the wrong entity. That means that the man has not been present in their life. And the number one primary role of a man is to give protection and provision and structure. This is what we do.
And
right?
and not to cut you off, Lee, I want who you got to put that blame on. Who's in the household? Who's running these and leading these households? See, that goes back to the last topic that we were talking about. See, the dad is not actually even in these households now. So you got to put what you're talking about. You got to put that blame on who's actually overseeing and running these kids and giving them this information.
You're right. That's what I'm trying to say. Structurally, the black father is going to fail because he's not the number one influential entity.
Right.
He's out of the household too much to be that influence, right? So if he just that's why I don't understand. Like if you with a woman and y'all break up, by de facto, it's like getting these kids when it should be 50-50 off the rip.
Right. Well, that's set up for the woman to get the kid, to get the child support.
I get it now, but now you see what's taking place though.
Right. If to be able to financially break that man.
The family court is the number one court.
Facts.
It's the most lucrative court. Therefore, the money's going to go through the family court to fund the other courts. That's just how the game works. So it's a black issue. It's not really a black issue. We just get hit with it first because we have the worst infrastructure. This is actually an American issue. And when you look at it, you're going to see these things overwhelmingly take place in other cultures, which it is happening right now. We're watching it, right? So I'll say this. Study history, all wars that were waged, they waged against women because women are not the primary security and they're naive to certain things. The homosexual agenda, the feminist agenda, getting black men out the family, they're going to wage these wars. And it's how they infiltrate things, right? So now we're sitting here with, deadbeat dads and deadbeat dads. It's dads that don't even have access to children. And having access to children is more than paying child support. It's about that influence. It's about that you being around. It's about the nurturing from a man. It's about the provision of a man, the protection of a man, the teaching of a man. Be a poor man and raise a better son than a rich man that ain't there.
Right. Right.
Straight up, because you want to raise that boy to be a certain way. You want to teach your daughter to be why do you think girls are so promiscuous? They're raised with daddies.
Right. No dads in the house.
Raised with daddies. So they thinking it's all good. You feel what I'm saying? They got child molesters, right? And the number one thing that a child molester look for before he attack this is there a male figure present?
Yeah. Do you have a dad?
Is there a male figure present?
Yeah.
Right? When a boy dates a girl, it is the father and the son that is to vet that boy, not the girl. Just like it's the mother's job and the sister's job to vet that girl because they know things about women that we don't know. And we understand things about men that they don't know. That boy goes into relationship with those men and he like, shit, I can't get over on her. You seeing his daddy? Seeing her daddy? Seeing her brother? Girls ain't got no daddies and no brothers. These little boys like, shit, I'm gonna do what I want. Ain't no threats.
Right.
Do what I want.
And that's been systematically, set up, amongst our people, but I agree with you 100%. I'll let, BJ or Eskeezy elaborate a little bit more on what we're talking about. I don't want to hog up all the mic.
I'm not disagreeing with nothing y'all saying. I just think that it's so vast. It's so many perspectives. You get me? But I agree with everything y'all saying. I think this is why we have so many issues.
Right. Now,
right.
I guess my go ahead, E. My bad.
No, I was gonna paint a picture. All right, take away the race, take away the money, take away all right, the race and the money. That's enough right there. All right. I want to ask Lee, what's your definition of a failed father?
Right.
Because that's the only way. Number one, we was born and created equally. So the only way we could be failed already is financially and a war against as far as race.
I don't agree that
Yeah. Go ahead.
that I don't agree that nobody born equally. We not born equally, right? We
No.
all born with different things, but the one thing that we are, but we're all incompetent, and that's why we got to understand how to be interactive with one another in order to be better, right? So if you take away money and race, that's like living in a utopia, because the reason we're in deficits is because of money in our race, because of economic restraints, right? Those things are major contributors to why you see where we are right now. Understand this, bro. Post-slavery, Black people are the most educated people ever. Post-slavery, Black people are the most successful people ever. That's why they passed the compromise of 1877, because we were making so much headway. They said, oh no, we got to slow these niggas down. They hit you with the Jim Crow, then they hit you with taking the father out the household. The father is the leader of the household. You take the head away, you destroy the family. So we can't have that conversation without understanding money and race.
Ooh, Lee, you don't took us all the way back. See, you took me back when I first got conscious.
I totally get the political side, but my whole point is if you sound real political, but what we doing is actually providing excuses. A lot of people tune in and be like, "Yeah, what he said. That's why. Fuck it. I ain't never gonna be ahead. I'm already a failure." Which is to me it ain't true.
That's not failing though. That's not failing, but you got to know what to diagnose. You can't go to the doctor and tell him you sick. You got to diagnose the problem before we apply a solution. And we're applying solutions and we don't understand what the problem is. You're gonna misdiagnose some shit and kill somebody. Trust me, bro. When we look at these things from the wider lens, look, I'm the first to tell Black people, hey, baby, if they say, dude told me one time, he said, man, it take us twice as long. I said, well, shit, nigga, start running.
On that note, continue saying what's wrong before we get to the solution.
Okay, you know what? And before we say that, look, that's my next question. So, if for those who out here listening, so where do we go from here? You know, give them a solution, give them advice. What's the end game? You know, and we'll stay on top. On target, I mean, on topic too. Far as for the failed fathers, you know, what's the advice that you would give them, BJ or Lee, for a failed father, or not? Yeah, for a failed father or for a child who's listening to this, to be able to get the advice so he can go on and be a great father.
To be around great influential men, like for instance, what we doing right now. Right. Somebody might say it's trivial. You will have better fathers if you have better men in society to hold men accountable. The more we hold men accountable and don't tolerate bullshit and don't allow other people to parrot a narrative that we're not, you find that we have stronger communities. In any strong community, the number one thing you're going to see is they have great gatekeepers. Where you have weak gatekeeping, you have chaotic environments. Where you have low standards, you have chaotic environments. We're the most chaotic environments with the Black community. In the ghetto, right? Right. The worst gatekeeping. You have,
and who's the gatekeepers of those communities?
Women, the women are the gatekeepers of it. I understand that. But here's the thing.
See, and a lot of people, and why since we on that, why do you think a lot of people get upset when you when you hit and home in on who's actually running these households, and when you look at what's going on in society and how these children has been, most of the children in the inner cities has been led without the fathers, because you can't put most of the blame, and I'm not going to say putting the blame on the women, but you really got to look at it from the realest point. You know, who's leading these children?
First of all, we got to not say people get mad, because people don't get mad. I need you to say who get mad. We don't get mad.
Right.
Am I lying? E? Tell me
No,
I'm
you're not lying.
Am I lying?
But a lot of people
We
get
don't.
upset
We
for
know.
that.
We know. Not a lot of people. It's women that get mad because
Right.
women get mad because women don't. They're not accustomed to being held accountable because they're not natural leaders. I'm not
Fact.
saying a woman don't. A woman is a contributor to a man's leadership. That's why she's the
No
support
way.
system. We the leaders at the front, the supporters at the back. Women don't even understand that they're more powerful than men because instead of trying to compliment us, they trying to replace us. Anything that is sub anything is stronger than the thing because it's withholding it. It's the
Right.
foundational thing. It's the growth to all things. So
Right.
the reason we are failing is because we're out of alignment. Alignment is everything.
Fact.
Okay? Straight up. Alignment is everything.
And that goes back to the conversation we had a few conversations ago. Who was the lead? We're out of alignment. So for you ladies out here listening to this, you're listening to four articulate men who know what they're talking about. Fathers are important. Men are important. We definitely need to be in a household. You know, without leaders, without men showing our young men what to do, this is what you get. You get a society of what's some of the female rappers' name? What's her name? The hottest one out there.
Queen Latifah.
Sexy Red, Big Red.
Cardi B's.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
you know, that's that,
we
you know,
have
and
to raise our hand.
that's who's leading our societies.
But we have to raise our hand too and understand the detriment that black men have played in that. And understand that the detriment have played in a lot of black women not having the confidence for black men to lead. I understand it's a very chaotic thing. What we have to do now, baby, we gonna just have to apologize and shake hands and forget that shit, move forward. Because the debt is too big, baby. We gotta have a debt forgiveness plan.
I agree.
You know why they forgiving school debts? Because they like, man, we ain't getting this money, homie. We gonna have to have a debt plan.
And you know what it's gonna take too, Lee? It's gonna take for I'm gonna be honest, for our women to change the mindset that they have.
Don't.
I agree.
That's where you're wrong. I'm gonna tell you why.
Tell me why.
Women will not do what men don't tolerate. For the men, look, bro, if you don't fuck with hoes, they gonna stop hoeing, baby. That's how the game works. If you don't do trick shit, they not gonna do certain things. If women become sexually disciplined,
men are always going to do that certain shit that you just named off. Men are always going to trick, you know, and they're always going to do that, you know. So, but I agree to a certain extent.
Check it. Nothing has to be absolute. All you need is a tipping point of anything. You don't need absolutes. Understand, 10% of anything control 90% of all things. We live in an oligarchy, not a democracy. People are influenced by a very small group of people. This who run it all. Right now, we sitting on here talking, and I'm gonna tell you right now, shit, I'm in the top 2% economically.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So check this right here though. When you look at all these things collectively, the more disciplined a man is with his money, the better alignment a woman will be with him. And the more sexually disciplined a woman will be, the more aligned a man will be with her. Why do you think the marriage rate used to be so high? Niggas wanted to get some coochie, right?
Right.
Without getting married. They was like, shit, we got to get married. So they talk about, man, big mama house, big mama house. Who bought big mama house, bro? Who bought that house? Never talk about those things. We are in a position to where we want to denigrate and talk about black men so low to where our women, not only don't they respect us, they hate us. Where we are now. This is where we are. We gotta damn near destroy it to rebuild it, man. But I'm just gonna sit here and say that we raise our hand and we can talk about the bad things that black men have done to contribute to this. You ain't got to say nothing about women, bro. All you got to do is stay on your purpose. But now boys are in society and all they focus on is pleasure because they have been raised by women. Women cannot, I'm telling any woman watching this, a woman does not have the ability to raise a man. She has the ability to raise an adult. Men don't raise daughters to be women. We raise them to be adults. A man's job is to make a daughter a lady, and a woman's job is to make a boy a gentleman. It's our job to raise boys into men. It's their job to raise women from girls, right? But when you got women trying to raise boys, they raising them with the behavior of women. They're raising them to not be dominant, to not want to lead, to not want to protect, to not want to provide. And then they get mad at it. I'm like, y'all raised the shit that you thought you wanted in a man, and y'all raised boys that girls hate. Boys that girls take advantage of. You want to say what? His daddy wasn't there. You can't stand up and take credit when 1% of the boys go to the NBA. They like, I did it on my own. but 99% of the boys fail. Now they point talking about his daddy won his life. You can't do that shit, bro. Work like that.
Okay, East Keys, give us your end game. Where do we go from here? What advice would you what advice would you give?
Like,
go ahead.
Like solution wise, like to me, it's a bunch of choices. This is what I was trying to paint the picture to earlier. Like we got enough against us. I agree. The odds are against us. We started way back here. It's just like a 400-yard dash. We started way in the back. All right, so we ain't trying to catch up with nobody else. Let's take away race, money, culture. Say we the only people in the world, just us. Why do we fail? You see what I'm saying? It's our choices. Like I just named, it's our choices. You named a great point. You line your money up. We chasing the wrong thing. Like I said, our choices. Instead of chasing money, we rather chase what?
Pussy.
All right. I'm 47 years old. I've probably been to the strip club one time. You know why? Because I ain't finna throw no money at no women. That's crazy. That's the craziest thing to me ever in the world. I'm sorry. And I ain't just saying this on no radio TV, but nah, if anything, if you got enough of the money, you gonna get the right woman. Yeah. But you throwing it at all of them. So now they ain't got nothing to work for. And this is what men do. This is where we absent. Strip clubs full, houses empty. The streets full of dead niggas, dead daddies. Houses empty. These are all our choices. Lee, this what I'm talking about. This ain't nothing economical. This ain't nothing because we had a low head start. These are a lot of choices we are making.
Don't think I'm not saying that we everybody play a role in their reality.
Right.
Everything I'm ever gonna absolve of anything. We all play a role in our reality. Everybody is self-made, but only the successful is willing to admit it. But those things that you talk about when you say don't talk about money, understand these created a lot of these situations, bro. These things, these red lines, these things created these poverty. What we talk about, we call black or poverty problems. When you go look at the rest of America, that shit look like any ghetto. It's the same behaviors everywhere. They just don't show it.
What about cheating? What about unprotected sex? That's how we get baby mamas that we really don't know.
First off, a small group of men got all the children, bro. 54% of black men don't even have kids. 30% of black men are married with their children. 18 to 21% of black men father 80, 70-something% of the children.
Those the fathers we talking to.
Yeah.
So those are the reckless fathers. Why do those fathers represent a majority of black men? Those are trash ass fathers. We not standing by them.
Right. So
not represent them. It's like
five dudes. It's like 5 dudes. I was looking at this thing the other day. It was 5 dudes, and between them, they had 72 kids. You ready? With 62 baby mamas. 5 dudes.
Yeah, I saw
so
that.
They said, man.
Well, we definitely not talking about them niggas. We just talking. I mean, we're talking about just a failed father.
That's a small percentage. That's a small percentage.
Whose child has turned into a great father.
Yeah, I see what he's saying.
Right, but no, I understand exactly what you're saying, Lee. Go ahead.
Those men represent us. See, the bad thing about the black community, because we don't have any media to represent us in all capacities, they give the worst of us the most exposure, and people believe that this is a shit. Like, we agree with it. They thinking, oh man, y'all just like, we don't agree with that. We don't agree with motherfuckers shooting each other up. All these dudes out and grew up with and got killed over some dumb, we don't agree with that shit. That's a very small group of people, right? But they get the most. They talk about, gang banging this and gang. I'm like, bro, the gangs make up a very small percentage.
Yeah,
a lot of problems.
It's an agenda.
Right, and I agree. And that's the way society is pushed to look at it that way. Yeah, but
what can we do? What can we do as black men? We can use our money to contribute to things that's going to better black men. That's going to like this right here is what I call a support system, bro. It's stuff that y'all need to talk about and I need to talk about that the world don't need to hear. We got to fix us and repair us. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. We have a shared economy. You might be smart, I might be smart, but together we're fucking brilliant. And when people see us move, they need to know, man, them motherfuckers is moving collectively. I don't care what problems we have in this house. When we walk outside, they see, oh shit. All right.
Yeah, you know,
because
and that's
understand.
what it's about, Lee. You know, for that next generation to be trying to build leaders. That's what we're talking about, building leaders. You know,
it's for this generation because we got to do it. So we got to do it to build that in them. We can't put it on them without giving them an illustration of how we can do what we can do and when we can do it.
It's up to us, you know, but it's definitely going to be up to the next generation to be able to keep on to keep up with what we don't put out there and the work that we and the effort we put out there. But no, I agree with you.
We just about to have a bunch of strippers and homosexuals. That's what it's looking like to me. It's looking like we just running into a generation of strippers and homosexuals. Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. And you got to understand, you have the right to live your life the way you want to live your life. But when you look up and you see something look like an epidemic, there is no fucking way that this is a natural behavior. That don't make any sense because you can't procreate. You can't keep shit going on. But the thing is, people have been so conditioned. Let me not even say people. The ladies have been so conditioned. They lobby for all this shit. They lobby for all of these policies.
Yeah,
when you look at they lobby for all this stuff. And you ready? Then it implodes. It's going to implode on them.
Who you think passing these laws though? It ain't the women that's passing the laws. It's dudes. They got the same agenda.
These things in.
It ain't just women that had that agenda. It's dudes too.
No, they're not. That's what people don't know. They're overwhelmingly voting these things in. It's not dudes too. Yeah, you're gonna have a fraction of men.
No, I'm talking about the male politicians, the ones that's at the top, the people that's at the top. They have the same agenda as the people that you talk about as in women.
That's remember I told you that small group of people run everybody.
That's what I'm talking about. Those are a lot of guys.
People. Those group of people, a lot of guys that don't look like us.
Yeah. Right.
People got an agenda.
They don't, but they're guys. That's all I'm saying. They're dudes.
Guys, bro, you acting like we ain't public enemy
but it's all in those guys' interest to be able to have our somewhat like our women control us, you know. Those guys have the same interest that our women have to be able to control and run us, you know. So
I'm gonna take the same thing,
you know. But that's a whole nother conversation, though. But go ahead, Easy.
I'm gonna take the same thing Lee saying. We could be that small 10%, you know, that become a great influence over the 90%.
Man, we so far behind. We can, but
stop saying we far behind, bro.
Huh?
Stop running their race. But the bad thing is the reason. Right. The reason it's gonna be difficult for us is we have to be clandestine. It's gonna be very difficult for us to think about it right now, bro. If we was all sitting here worth about $50 million having the same conversation, and we had power and influence, somebody about to have a funeral.
Yeah, this conversation would definitely be listened to.
Okay, do you understand what you're saying? That's what power is.
Right.
To influence people to think they made decisions on their own. That's what true power is. They like, I made that decision. We like, yeah, you think so? This is what you call social engineering, dog.
And you know what? And this right here, this is exactly what we need in a household. We need fathers and men who talk and sit around the table and talk like this. You know, this is what's been missing. You know, for a minute, you know, for generations out of the house, out of the Black family. You don't have conversations like this. You don't have too many men talking about shit like this, you know. So elaborate a little bit more on this, BJ.
So like we definitely need more of this, you know, to each one to teach one. We had to, like Leaf said, we can't keep talking about trying to win their race. We gotta set up our own race. And then it's kind of funny because every time we set up an all Black city, they do something to it. They bomb it and they kind of get swept under the rug. Nobody kind of talk about it. But we had to keep doing it. We had to keep connecting the dots and putting networks together to continue to teach. Because we all done been to college and blah, 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 but it's a lot of people that haven't. We've seen different role models that influenced us from one way or another. But it's a lot of black guys that their great grandparents, their grandparents, their parents, and them have all grew up in the projects, and they can't really see much past that. So it's like we gotta keep teaching, keep reaching, and keep building. That's the only way. We got to be the village. You know, we've been told that since we were kids, but it's real. You sent a video when they were saying like you take one man out of the house in the village, then all the other fathers will step in and he'll learn from them how to be a man. But if you take 80-90% of the fathers out of the house, then it kind of makes things a little more complicated. And
It's
that's
gonna be
where we are.
centric.
And that's
Yeah,
where
it's gonna
we
be
are right now.
centric.
We got to get it back to the basics, So get everything in line and then branch out from there. But we learning stuff slowly, but we learning it. And we gotta teach it and not make it so hard. Like we still got the mentality, well, it took me this much time and this much energy to get it. He gotta get it on his own.
And that's the wrong way to look at it, because that's
the
a
wrong way of
competition.
looking at it. Yeah.
That's a
the wrong way of
competition.
looking at it.
See, the thing is, I look at black people like this. Like, why do we keep trying to do things by ourselves when you can go faster with a team? I ain't doing this shit. I'm delegating everything. I don't
Right.
go
You
to
know,
these
and I was
meetings.
just finna say that because you made a point earlier, and it was so profound. Number one, you do need a support circle. You know,
You
that's
need it.
part
You
of the
need it.
team.
You have to
You're
have
part of
it
that team, BJ3.
to
So
be
I'm gonna tell y'all a
successful.
secret. Listen to the successfulness of these great men. It
To
started
be
in one
successful,
little
you need
area.
a support. You need somebody that's gonna back you, know
And
that
we could
you
take
can lean
these
on them.
men on the
You can
phone. If all of us got a great idea, which these men had, and all right, a piece we got one great idea. But if we share them with each other, each one of us will have 4 ideas. But see, the problem will start once we try to use those 4 ideas in the same spot. So if we go to 4 different parts of the world, we'll all have 4 different ideas.
Yeah, well, I say like this. I'm a 101%er, like Marcus Garvey, right? We could have 99% difference, but the 1% of shit that we agree on, I'm putting 100% in it, and we can
right,
go far. Okay, the
right,
fact of the matter is, you don't have to do sophisticated shit. You got to execute with simplicity. Like, people ask me what am I all the time. I'm a blue collar intellect. I'm the
Right.
nigga that you didn't know was bright. I wear Chuck Taylors, I wear joggers and t-shirts, and they laugh until I talk, until I write, until I show up. And they
Mhm.
like, how the fuck he getting these results? Right? Because I'm gonna keep showing up. I'm
Right.
just gonna keep showing up. And what make me dangerous is I'm not selfish. But what make me powerful is I'm not stupid. Right?
Right.
So the thing is, as we sit here and have this conversation, right? See how everybody got to talk. Did you see the decorum? Do you see the respect for the room?
Yeah.
That's because everybody is operating at a certain intellectual space. Put a ghetto motherfucker on here, put a woman on here. This shit would have been arguing the whole
Divide and
time.
conquer.
People getting talked over. So what I'm saying is, everybody can't go, baby. Everybody can't come into these rooms. Where there is a weak gatekeeper, there will be a chaotic environment. Every conversation, look, everybody not a leader, man. People need to be led. Everybody's not a great speaker. That's why you have great speakers. Everybody can't write. That's why you have people that write. But collectively, if we have all these things, then we have everything we need. Or incompetent because we are to be interdependent with other people. It's something that y'all have that y'all are great at that I suck at. Why am I trying to get good at that shit when I can hire you to do it? Why?
right.
Exactly.
Why am I working my butt off to give you a good product when I can just hire E to give you a brilliant thing that he do easily and don't even know he brilliant at the shit? I'm gonna hire you. Once I hire you, we create an economy. You have something that I don't. Economics is based on what you have and what you don't have. It's not a money thing. Because if we looking at life from a necessity standpoint, there would be no, if everybody looked at life from a necessity standpoint, there would be no economy. Because it's easy to get what you need. It's difficult to get what you desire and want. You don't need Nikes, bro. You just need some
Right.
shit to cover your feet. You
That's
don't
it.
need a mansion. You just need
Right.
somewhere to live.
Right.
But think about it. Everything we do as black people, we do it backwards. We don't live life. We survive time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. When you live, that means it's abundant. When you survive, that means it's restricted. People are perpetual survivors. They don't think big. They don't forecast. You can't tell a man a 20-year plan and he ain't got a 1-week itinerary, bro. That just sound crazy to him. That just sound crazy to him, but that's a selfish man. See, a man that got a 20-year plan, he know he might die at year 10, but he done put shit in place to make sure that shit get carried on. Those are the true legacies. It's not just money. It's information. It's instruction. It's direction. It's commitment. It's like having an oath to something that's bigger than you. So a selfish man cannot be a leader.
And you
right?
know one thing about everything that you just said, Lee, who talks like this? A man, fathers, you know, and this is what we need to get back to. Conversations like this, you know, and just teaching our sons and you know, just youth, you know, having conversations like this, intellectual conversations, you know, and this is what we need, more of this, you know, versus more of what we've been getting. You know, so I don't have anything else to add to the conversation. It's been a pleasure talking to you, BJ3, Lee, and you, E Skeezy. If you got anything else to add to the show, you can go ahead and add.
No, that's enough been said. I mean, we all covered it up. Everything's been said. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay, well, before we end it, Lee, let everybody know what you got going on. If you have any social media platforms, let them know where they can reach you at.
Okay, I do have a social media platform. I'm on Instagram right now at Ben_Grinding 1977. I'm pretty much a serial entrepreneur, but I think what I'm most passionate about is the company I'm building now, and that's Belief. And Belief is obviously Beliefer, but Belief is belief. Belief is a conduit of all things. It represents movement. It represents dedication, and essentially, it just represents the results that you get. Right? It's the conduit between thought and decision, but in essence, it's the mirror of and the reflection of your results. So I'm creating this program of these modules to take people, get them from where they at to where they need or where they want to be, right? And I got a 5-module course I'm putting together. I have an apparel entity. It comes under 6 pillars, which is faith, family, finance, fitness, academics, and creative. And it's something I've been working on for some time now. I believe it's going to be brilliant. I believe that it's necessary. And the one thing I want to leave people with, especially brothers, is you have to be willing to fund what you to grow.
Facts.
I think we fund things well. If we got 20 dudes, I'll give up $20 to have a conversation. Look at the law of large numbers by the end of the year on what we will be able to have. The one thing I can say about Black women is, man, they fund all the shit they want. People can say what they want, but they support it with their dollars, homie. They support it with their dollars. You know, that's a fact.
Well, let them know one more time where they can reach you at, Lee.
Ben, BEEN _Grinding 1977. Or you could hit me on Facebook at Leaford Hackett. And I'm there. I'm gonna be there, and we're gonna be doing great stuff. And man, we taking it to a whole different level, baby. We taking it to the nosebleeds.
There we go.
Get
there
your
we
oxygen
go.
right.
Well, BJ3, let everybody know what you got going on, where they can reach you. If you have any social media platforms, let them know where they can get at you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Leaf, I seen you with a Belief hat. Where can I get a Belief hat at?
Oh man, they coming, man. I'm going through the trademark process, man, and I've been such a fortunate man. I didn't do no marketing. I posted a hat and fuck around and got 500 pre-orders. I ain't even wasn't even trying to sell the hats. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So you already got one for free anyway.
Put the hats out there. Let everybody know what type of hats, where they
Matter
can
of
get
fact,
the hats.
I need y'all to send me y'all address because I'm gonna send y'all that out to love. Y'all stay in Detroit, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I'm right now. I'm in Ohio.
I'm in NC.
I consider all of the Midwest Detroit.
Okay.
One is in North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, man. Send them addresses, man. I'm gonna take care of y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bless.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Well, Skeezy, let them know what you got going on, where they can reach you at.
Hold on, D.
Find me on the What Up Though show.
No, I got
Hold
you.
on,
I'm
B,
still
I ain't
gonna come
finished. I
back in.
got this right here.
Go ahead. Go ahead, BJ.
All right, here we go. I got this all natural tea right here. I got a new bottle. But it's all natural tea. It's 4 ingredients: lemon, mint, THC, and water, and honey. There you go. And it does a couple things. I had one guy told me it worked better than Viagra. He forgot his Viagra. He drank a little tea, and he said he wore her out.
Send me the whole bottle.
Well, I can tell you it personally works. I got my can. I keep my bottle when I'm ready to go.
Look,
Okay, well,
and then
Skeezy, let
go
them know
ahead.
what you got going on. Tell them what you got going on, where they can reach you at.
You can reach me on the What Up Though show. Check your boy out on Fortune Emmanuel 43 Gmail. You can see me on Facebook, Emmanuel Fortune. Holla at your boy, Skeezy.
Okay,
We got to
okay.
promote these platforms better, bro. We got to
Hello, I got
promote
one
these
more.
platforms better.
Here
For
we go.
sure.
Look. It's all underscore natural underscore T. I'm on TikTok and Instagram. And mainly it's for the Californians, but I'll ship it to some family members because I don't know all the shipping rules with THC. But generally, Californians get at me. All underscore natural underscore T. It helps helps you have a good sleep. In general, it may not knock you out depending on your tolerance, but if you don't drink or don't smoke, it'll probably put you to sleep if you drink a couple shots of it. If you drink and you smoke, you may need a little more, but ultimately, the sleep that you get when you drink the tea, you have a great sleep. You have a great sleep, like good sleep. You wake up feeling good, and you get a good sleep out of it. All right, man.
Okay, and
Appreciate it.
again, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming on to the show. Hopefully, someone gets this message. We was not at all trying to down any fathers. We were just trying to make example of what a failed father, what happens when a father failed. You know, most fathers, most situations, most people that come from a failed father turn out to be, you know, pretty good dads, you know. So that's what we were just trying to hit home on. You know, fathers are definitely needed. We need more fathers in the household to be able to lead, protect, and guide our youth in the right way. So like I said, I thank each and every one of you guys for coming to the show. This has been the What Up Though show, and we out. Peace.
Holla.
One. Peace.